In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the strut boot and damper kit on your Subaru Outback. This will be located on the strut. Let's get started. Using a 19mm socket, remove the 5 lug nuts. Remove the wheel. Pinch the plastic ABS clip. Pull it through the bracket. Using a 12mm socket, remove the bolt for the brake line bracket. Pull the line out of the bracket. Using a 19mm socket for the nut, we're going to use a 19mm wrench for the head. We're going to remove the nut. Do the same thing on the bottom. Remove the bolts. We're going to lift up slightly on the knuckle and remove the bolt. Pull the strut out of the knuckle. Hook a bungee cord to the knuckle so that we don't pull the axle out of the cups. Using a 12mm socket, remove the 3 top strut nuts. I'm going to thread this one back on, just 1 or 2 threads. This will hold the strut so it doesn't just fall out of the vehicle. Lift the strut assembly up slightly, unthread that 1 nut, then slowly remove it out of the car, minding all of the cables and wires. Get the strut assembly set up in the spring compressor. Start to compress the spring. We're just going to take a little bit of tension off. On this top hat, we're going to remove the little cap on top. Using a 17mm socket, we're going to loosen the nut on the top of the strut. You do not want to fully remove the nut, just get it loosened. Compress the spring. Once the strut is able to wiggle, we're going to remove our top nut. When you remove this, be sure you have a hand on the bottom of the strut. Pull the strut out of the bottom. Remove the strut boot. Remove the damper. Install the damper. Install the boot. Install the strut. Get it lined up with the top hat. Get the spring clocked correctly on the bottom of the assembly. Right about there. Install the top nut. We're going to snug it down. Our strut pull started moving. We're going to take some tension off of our spring. Once the assembly isn't moving, go ahead and snug down the nut. Torque the top strut nut to 41 foot-pounds. When you do this, be sure that the middle is not spinning If it is, you can hold it with a hex bit while getting a wrench on the side. Install the top cap, and the strut's ready to be installed. Install the strut up into the vehicle. Line up the top hat and get the nuts started by hand. Using a 13mm socket, snug down the top nuts. Remove the bungee cord. Pull the knuckle over. Meet it with the strut. Install the bottom bolt. Put one hand on the face of the rotor, push straight back, and install the top bolt. Install the washer. Install the nut. Install the lower nut. Using a wrench to hold the head of the bolt, snug down the nut. Do the same thing on the bottom. Torque the lower strut nuts to 116 foot-pounds. Do the same thing on the bottom. Install the ABS clip. Install the brake line into the bracket. Get the bolt started. Snug the bolt down. Install the wheel. Get the lug nuts started. Snug them down. Torque the wheels to 90 foot-pounds in a star pattern. And you're good to go. With the vehicle on the ground, we're going to torque these top strut nuts to 15 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.